What's up, people? This is Nate Square 30 here, and this is the Saturday edition of the WWE Smackdown review for June 29th. Now, I'm going to be honest with this. It wasn't all that bad. Starting off with AJ wrestling Layla, her wrestling skills have improved highly. Okay, maybe not highly. Maybe I'm being a little bit too much when I say highly. It's improved. It's gotten better. She's still a little sloppy, but it's gotten better. And Layla definitely did take her to school. She kind of showed her who the Divas Champion really is. But that's not really what my segment of the night was. My segment of the night happens to be the whole Daniel Bryan, AJ, and Vicky Guerrero segment. I actually thought that was quite entertaining. And honestly, it was kind of funny that Vicky Guerrero didn't really notice the fact that the poles were right behind her on the Titantron. And the fact that she was just continuously talking and just totally forgot about the whole thing. But I don't know. The fact of having AJ as a special guest referee, oh boy. I guess it's to bring some kind of interest in Money in the Bank because let's face it, they really don't have any decent feuds going. And honestly, the qualifying matches. Let's get into this. I am still, and I know there's been a lot of people from my last video that I made, a lot of people that have tried to explain to me exactly what this Money in the Bank is all about and what the matches really freaking are. I'm still confused. Number one, I end up hearing that, okay, they have a WWE Championship match for only former champions, a WWE Championship ladder match for only former champions. Number two, they have a World Heavyweight Championship ladder match for former champions. And number three, the Money in the Bank match for all the people involved is only for one belt? Only for the World Heavyweight Championship belt? You don't have a choice between the two? Don't really get it at all. Um, I'm highly confused. Okay, they already did the qualifying match. They did about four. And this is my biggest gripe. Well, the fact is, it seems far too rushed. Number one, they actually had the first match, which really wasn't all that bad. Damien Sandow versus Zack Ryder. That was a pretty good match. I happened to enjoy that, and it was and the right guy won, in my opinion. That Zack Ryder. It was great that Zack Ryder actually put over Damien Sandow because Damien Sandow is an up and comer. And I really think that was a good call for him to actually have Damien Sandow win, as well as Tyson Kidd. It's a shame that it had to be Jack Swagger because Jack Swagger's career is suffering. Let's face it, it's suffering a slow and silent death. And it makes me sad that it had to be him, but then I'm also happy that Tyson Kidd actually had a chance to go for the World Heavyweight Championship belt. Now, Lord Tensai ended up winning his match, and yeah, Lord Tensai has definitely been put over as of late, which I think was a really good call. But here's the thing that got me. They had a tag team match for a qualifier that actually take two more people into the Money in the Bank match. I'm sorry. It just seemed like at the very end, everything was far too rushed. They made a tag team match for two people just to fill in the holes, and ended up being Christian and Santino Marella. Yeah, and they actually beat Cody Rhodes and David Otunga. Honestly, it would have been interesting to actually see Cody Rhodes and David Otunga win instead of Christian and Santino Marella. I honestly would prefer to see the heels win than the faces because let's face it, they've had their shot. Well, Santino Marella really hasn't, but let's face it, Christian's had his shot, and I really think that it would be a lot more intriguing for me, that is, to see Cody Rhodes actually having a shot at the championship. But that's just me. That's how I feel about it. I like Cody Rhodes. But it just seemed far too rushed going towards the end, towards the main event, when it was Dolph Ziggler versus Alberto Del Rio versus Sheamus. Now, I really don't know why they were having this triple threat match on SmackDown. It didn't really make any sense because we automatically knew it was going to win. There was no way that Sheamus was going to lose the belt before going to Money in the Bank. He may lose the Money in the Bank. Who knows? But the thing about it is, it didn't make any sense to me to actually have this on SmackDown. It made sense to me for them to actually save this towards the pay-per-view and try to build up something. Because it seems like that Dolph Ziggler is actually going to take a break from Vicky. I mean, it may not be in the way that we thought it was going to happen. We thought it was going to be like a long time ago, way back. But it seems to me that it's actually going to be a lot sooner. Especially their argument that they had backstage. So it makes it kind of clear to me that Vicky Guerrero is definitely going to step out on him, especially their argument that they had, which I think is a good thing because even though Vicky did a lot of good things for Dolph Ziggler, I really think that it's time for him to step out. But moving on from there, we actually find out that next week is going to be a live SmackDown. A live SmackDown, Great American Bash, is going to be on primetime TV. Am I excited? A little. The fact that it's live is always great live. And then also the fact that Teddy Long is going to be the GM of both shows for that week. So I am excited about that. I really am. And the fact that he actually is not under the wing of any kind of heel GM anymore. He's actually going to be the GM. He's actually going to be running the calling the shots. Makes me happy. I'm excited about that. But honestly, I'm going to be real about the SmackDown. The SmackDown, the matches themselves were not all that bad. But there was one thing that I really didn't understand why they decided to have this. Why have a Ryback match? Really? What was the point of having Ryback come out? We know Ryback was going to do nothing but squash these guys who thought that they were like the Eminem wannabes. But that didn't necessarily work. And he was to come out and destroy them. Why? This is supposed to be about building Money in the Bank. Who cares about Ryback? Unless you're going to involve Ryback in some kind of a feud or maybe in a Money in the Bank match. Why wasn't he in the qualifying match? Why was he doing a squash match? It doesn't make any sense to me, people. But okay, but now for the matches, the card pretty much for Money in the Bank is set. We have Damian Sandow, Tyson Kidd, Santino Marella, Christian, and Tensai. Those are the people that are going to be set up for SmackDown for Money in the Bank. So they're probably going to have a qualifying match on Raw for Money in the Bank as well. And they're going to be all involved. I think it's not going to be two separate brands like it was last year. I think they're going to be all in one, but they're only going to go towards one belt. And that's the one thing that really pisses me off about that whole idea. But anyway, the whole show itself, match-wise, wasn't all that bad. AJ really did improve in the ring, which actually did make me happy. The segment that I saw with Daniel Bryan, AJ, and Vicky Guerrero was very entertaining. But the whole idea behind the whole Money in the Bank premise is still baffling to me, and I'm still confused, which is sad. And then the whole Ryback segment, the whole Ryback match was stupid, in my opinion. And then showing anything on Raw was stupid. This should be focused towards Money in the Bank. It should be focused on Raw. It should be focused on anything that John Cena did. It should be focused on SmackDown and SmackDown alone. That's how I see it. So honestly, I can't. I mean, it's not. It wasn't a bad show. It wasn't a bad show at all, in my opinion. So I guess I gotta give it a thumbs up. I'm not gonna give it way up. It wasn't an A show, but it was a good show. I was really entertained in the fact that they actually did what they were supposed to do. They were supposed to have matches and actually start gearing towards Money in the Bank. And the segments actually did. I mean, the segments were actually germane to Money in the Bank, so I was completely fine with that, except for Ryback's match, which was really stupid. And yes, the whole premise is completely dumb, but still, it was a good show overall, so I am giving it a thumbs up. This is Nature Girl 30 signing off. Stay tuned to my Power Rankings video. That's going to probably be coming up after this. Later.